Hello racers! Welcome back. Today I will be talking about the decks that can counter one of the most popular decks in the upcoming meta. Jango Fett with Tarkintown I think will be one of the most played and one of the most powerful decks in the next set or the current set. So if you want to play him or if you want to play something that can beat him, I will show you today 3 decks that have a really good matchup into Jango, and those 3 decks can beat him in 3 different ways. So the biggest assets of Jango is the use of his leader ability and Tarkintown. So it's really hard for aggressive decks to race him, and it's really hard for the decks that rely on the units, even in mid or late game, to have them because of Tarkintown and the fact that Jango can really quickly go have a big board state and clear your opponent board state at the same time. But there are a few decks that can either secure a strong board versus Jango and then kill him from just the value they are getting, or just kill him with 2 or 3 actions with a really big swings. So the first deck is the new leader, so it's Admiral Piett. I think he's best fitted into red, and mostly because of 2 cards. So Ruthless Raider and Devastator are cards that are especially powerful in Piett. So the main way to play is to ramp on turn 2. Turn 3 play Ruthless Raider, turn 4 play Devastator, and if you manage to do those, it's really hard to lose versus almost anything. And the rest of the deck is to just secure your gameplay for your main play to happen. So we play a lot of removal, so Daring Raids, Force Chokes, Shootdowns, Open Fires, Merciless Contest, and Overwhelming Barrages, and even Turbo Laser Salvo. You will need those tools to clear the board, and then whenever you play your big ship, so either Devastator, the new one for 8, or the old one for 10, Ruthless Raider, or even Assault Cruiser, you will just be able to overwhelm your opponent and finish the game really quickly. Piett's ability fits really well into red because 8 mana is for me the crucial point for Piett, because on his deploy there isn't really any 7 mana good capital ships in any color, in my opinion. So you most likely will just be playing Ruthless Raider or MC30, or if you played MC30 on 4 resources, you can just play Barrage on Piett deploy. You can deploy Piett, or more often than not, it's correct to delay his deploy to 6 resources, because then you can safely play your 8th drop and then start to swing the game the other way around. As for the sideboard is mostly versus the slower decks and versus the decks that can counter you in other ways. So, for example, we have the third Force Choke for Hans, we have Salvage and Relentless for control, and Traitor Rules versus decks that want to build a really big cheap unit. And I think especially at the beginning of the set there will be a few of them. And then we have Executor just as a one-off to surprise slower matchups. Okay, so this is the list that I've built with the help of Torque. I've changed his list a little, even quite a lot, but it has still the same principles that his list did. And in testing, it can really quickly turn around the the Jango matchup, and it's really hard for Jango to win if you manage to ramp. Okay, the second deck is Admiral Thrawn, the new Thrawn, but a mono blue and a hard control shell. I think this is the best hard control shell we have, because Thrawn can utilize the healing of the new ships to generate extreme amounts of HP. So Onyx Squadron and Seer have it when defeated to gain health. Thrawn can double that, so you can play a 2-drop that can trade with something and gain you 4 HP. The other big tool is No Glory Only Result. This is the best counter to Ruthless Raider in the game at the moment, and with Thrawn, it's much better than any other leader, because then you can utilize your opponent when defeat effects. So we don't really play that much differently than, for example, Iden Blue or even Bosk Blue from previous sets. We want to clear everything early, play Child Sen if possible, and then finish the game with Snokes and Avengers after we used Super Laser Blast. But Thrawn has access to additional way, so you can play Krennic and you can play early a little bit of Death Rattles to stop your opponent from putting any pressure on you early, and then late game you have enough HP that you don't need to worry about anything they do or kill you from hand. This deck had really great performances versus Jango. I think unless Jango has a really good sideboard to counter hard control, it's a one-sided matchup for Thrawn. Okay, and lastly is a leader from the previous set, so Obi-Wan Kenobi, leader that didn't really see much play previously. Deploying on 6 is a big issue for this leader, but completely countering Tarkintown is one of the ways to stop Jango completely. And the other big part of Obi-Wan is shielded units. So you can see that this deck basically don't play any or not a lot of shielded units, but the new Admiral Uralen can give any of your vehicles the keyword shielded, and then whenever you play almost any unit in your deck, it's not only have shielded, it also does something when it gets on the board. So shielded Sentinels are incredibly powerful. Before we had the 3-mana 2/2 shielded that played almost in any deck that it could, and here we can basically have 1/4 shielded, 2/6 shielded, and 3/5 shielded on the ground. And not only that, with Ewing reinforcement, we can put more than one vehicle at a time. So your play versus Jango will be basically try to survive turn 1, turn 2, put down Uralen, and then just put Sentinel after Sentinel on the board. And it's really hard for even the deck like Jango that can ping all the shields to clear everything you're going to put down, because Luke and Home One are really great at stabilizing the game. You also have access to quite powerful removal in sideboard, so your All Clear Kid is a new card that can destroy almost any early spaceship. And if it's the only spaceship, it also gives you an experience. The other cool combo with this deck is playing the Sky Speeder. It enters damaged. So if you have Uriel on the board and you chose Grid, you can push damage really fast. And I think Grid and Shielded are the most common uses for Uralan ability. And if you don't have a board, you basically always play him as a shielded keyword. But if you already have a few wounded units, Grid can be a really good way to swing for a big amount of damage to finish the game. You can, of course, build this deck completely differently, like more similar to like it was built in the last set. It will still work the same because Obi-Wan's ability to heal a damage can stop Jango using Tarkintown, and if Jango can't utilize Tarkintown to secure the early advantage, it's much easier for you to just trade his units. His units are mostly not that greatly statted, and then late game you will just have advantage because U-Wing reinforcements, looks, and home ones are just too big of a value gap to overcome. Yeah, so it was a quick, like a sneak peek for a deck that can beat Jango. If you found any deck that has a really great matchup versus Jango, please feel free to comment it. I will try to look at the deck lists and like put another video of a deck that will be like good to counter the meta. Okay, thanks everybody. Bye.